Zero. Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Podcast, PR edition. We have Nikolaus Pjeta with us. He is CEO at Full Stop Public Relations. He's in Berlin, Germany. I'm in Montreal, Canada today. We're going to talk about PR today. Nick's 20-year span career in PR has many lessons to share with us today. This podcast is presented to you by my podcasting company. It's called podpire.com. If you want to start, scale, monetize a podcast the unconventional way, namely with cold email, to get a bunch of guests and chat with these guests, connect with these guests, make money with these guests, go to podpire.com. Nick, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and about Full Stop PR.
Hi, Charles. My pleasure to be part of your podcast today. As you already said, I'm for 20 years in the field of public relations. My first job was as a press referent for a political party many years ago, and after that I moved to an international company, did their marketing and international PR, and then worked in the field of media. And in 2009, we all remember the financial crisis. A crisis is always also a chance. I founded my own agency, and the name of the agency is Full Stop Public Relations. Like as you already said, and we are a PR agency specialized in communications for the DACH region, means Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And maybe someone hears my little Austrian accent. And I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but originally I'm from Austria, and so I founded the agency in Austria, and my first office was in Vienna. And then around 10 years ago, I moved from Vienna to Munich to open another office, and then I moved from Munich to Berlin to open another office. And from these offices we have the perfect position to do PR in those countries, and we do PR also for Switzerland, but not from Austria, not from Germany, but from Austria, because between Austria and Switzerland is the closer mentality, this Alpine mentality, and it also works out. What is special about Full Stop PR? We really have clients from all over the world. Beside Australia, we had clients from every continent in the world, and we are really used to work on an international level. Before the podcast, it's always normally you think it's the easiest question: what are your customers? But as I already had a lot of them, I thought before, who are the customers that people might know, I wrote down a list for me to check it, but famous customers of our in the past, like Segway. For example, we did an international launch for the new robotic lawn mower of Segway here in Berlin. Everywhere in the world, just with the first action, we had like 200 articles all over the world. But we also worked for companies like mobility companies like Voi, e-scooter, or Link. At the moment, a famous customer of us is Vivo Barefoot, very trendy company. We also work for Deutsche Bank at the moment. State Street, the third biggest investment bank in the world, is our customer. We work for DLA Piper, the law firm. We work for a lot of Chinese clients like CTE, EcoFlow, Ugreen. At the moment, Grammarly, the software is our company. We work for EF Languages and many more. And yeah, it's like we are specialized in doing PR for international companies. Most of them, they are not from Germany, they're not from Austria. They come to us and we make them we make great PR for them in the German-speaking area, and we make them famous. But Charles, you said to me in advance you want to speak a little bit about a crisis communication, is it?
Well, that's always an interesting area. So challenges that you face or your clients face is a good area of discussion. Like what should a company CEO do if they're getting bad press or negative coverage? Like, have you done some of that?
Yeah, it's like it's like with yourself or with the human beings, yeah. When you think about crisis communication, yeah, it's like it's also when you think about your health, yeah. And when you think about your health, you should not just shouldn't just go to the doctor when you're ill, yeah. Before you should also do prevention, yeah. Yeah, and it's quite the same with one of the most important things is that you always should do a crisis communication plan, yeah, before a crisis and not just when it occurs, yeah, because often, you know, how, to be honest, most of the times it happens, yeah, it's like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, yeah, a customer calls me and then he says, hey, there's a bad story is coming up, yeah, we have this or that happened, yeah, and and now the journalist already contacts my client, yeah, and now what can we do about it, yeah, and at that point is always most of the time I do it still by my own, the crisis communication, yeah, because it's really tricky, yeah. In this situation, you know, I just know I will have some hours to manage everything, yeah, because that somewhere a damage already occurred or happened at the company, yeah, and now I have just some 6, 7, 8 hours, yeah, to manage it. That's there won't be too bad coverage in the media, yeah. And then I'm contacted. Then we will have a meeting very often. Then the lawyer of the company is involved, yeah. And then you will have a discussion, yeah. What can we communicate to the public? And then there's also always like, you know, it's like the lawyer has its point, yeah, about how to do it. And to be honest, it's very often different. What is my point of view? Yeah, because if you're if you're doing crisis communication, yeah, um, you have to you have you really have to take care that you're communicating transparent, yeah, yeah, and it has to be there are the 5 C's of crisis communication. One is concern, one is commitment, one is competency, one is clarity, and one is confidence. Yeah, and I don't want to go into detail with the 5 C's. Yeah, but you have to you have to be very careful. Yeah, um, that you make when you're in a crisis, that you really make everything clear. Yeah, and that the journalist really understands also your points. Yeah, because it's often that someone criticizes a company. Yeah, but this is just one point of view. Yeah, of course, my client also has another point of view, and the worst thing that you could do is like that you say no comment on this crisis. Yeah, because what will happen? An article will occur, yeah, with just the bad points that someone brings out about you, and you don't have the possibility that's the good points, yeah, or the arguments of your clients are also published, and so you should always have a good answer that is credible for the journalist, whenever a situation like that comes up.
Right. And a lawyer sees the world in a courtroom, right? Like his number one duty is to defend his client and not have his client get legal trouble. That's what he's accountable for. But like you, your magic is that you understand the public perception, right? Like someone that is reading their journal in their living room and the news and the reactions and the social media. So you understand how humans think and how the power of many can destroy, right? Like there's still a lot of wisdom in the crowds. If there's a million humans hating your company, then you're in big trouble because these 1 million humans deploy a lot of energy. So your role as a PR master is to understand the perception of crowds and to sort of influence that. I love the 5C. It's yeah, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because all of these segments, basically all of these attributes, they make sure that you have a tough reply on what's happening. You look competent, you are full of clarity, and yet like people are looking for that. They're looking for leadership, basically, right? So yeah, I love that. Now, what can be examples of cases that you've turned around? Is it like, I don't know, a bank not being sort of in trouble after 2008, you know, and we've seen the bank runs, for example, with the Silicon Valley Bank recently, and I think it was a horrible management of PR. You know, I think the CEO on a call or said something around the lines like, yeah, we're good if everyone don't panic, you know. And using the word panic, well, obviously everyone just panicked, you know, and he caused a bank run, which is when a bunch of customers pulled the money at the same time. So yeah, tell us like examples of what could happen and how could a guy like you like manage this whole situation and not have it implode on itself.
You said the word magic. And the biggest magic that can happen, and the best thing that I can do for a customer in this situation is that there won't be any article. Yeah. So yeah, you know, because I told you before, it's like I'm in contact already as before. Most of the times I'm in contact before the article is published. So what I'm always trying in the beginning is like I'm calling a journalist, yeah, and I'm directly contacting him, and then I'm telling, yeah, that we are doing really serious crisis communications, yeah? And also, to be honest, if a client uh, would me like to do not serious crisis communications, yeah, I would quit the client, yeah, because this is I already know in advance this would be a disaster. But first I'm contacting the journalist after I had my meeting, of course, with my client, yeah, and then I tell him that I will deliver him very transparent all of the information that he needs. And sometimes it even occurs that it's just a rumor going on, yeah. And then if I'm really good, yeah, what I did quite often in the past, I can show and convince the journalist that this is that the crisis based on nothing, yeah. And then I can, if it's a serious serious publication, yeah, I can convince him not to write about it. Yeah. So this is never forget. Yeah. This is like the best crisis communication that I can do. Yeah. And this is really this is the most important step you have to do. And of course I try to also, if I can, and you know, if shit happens, yeah, you have to speak about it. Yeah, this is that I would never say to a client, if shit happens, I would say no, give it under the carpet. Yeah, let's try to tell them a story that it's just constructed, because this is if you do it like that, yeah, it always comes back like a boomerang, yeah, because it's in so many times, and maybe maybe you win a little bit time with strategy like that, yeah. But after when you ever lie in public, yeah, uh, nobody will trust you ever again. Yeah, this is like, you know, we have this story about everywhere in the world with fake news and so on. And fake news can it's not always just the media. Fake news can also be from companies. Yeah, and when it's about the public, yeah, the most important thing that you have to take care also for the future is about trust, yeah, and you have to be very careful, yeah? And people will trust you when you speak transparent about the mistake that happens, yeah. In Latin, you say errare humanum est, yeah, it's everybody they everybody makes mistakes in life, and but what people, I already said it, don't apologize is when you lie and when you're in the beginning, yeah, like the scandals. If you look about bad crisis communications, it's always the same. In the beginning they say no, there's nothing, and then it comes something more out, and then say, no, okay, maybe the little bit, but the rest is not true, and so on and so on. And at one point, you can ruin a whole company with a bad communication like that. So I said in the beginning, the best strategy is that there's no bad coverage about a scandal or about a crisis at all. Yeah, if that's not possible, number two is that you give a statement, you're transparent, you're credible, yeah, and yeah, and then also, like I said before, compare an article with no comment, yeah, and just the critics, yeah, or an article with, they say this happened, whatever, and then the customer or the company says, yeah, but that's, and then you can also argue, and then you are part of this process, yeah, because and then you can direct the communications crisis process, yeah, when you are part of it.
Right. And then how do you keep your calm when you're managing a crisis for some company? Like, because they rely on you, they might have urgencies, quote unquote. How do you manage that?
Sorry, I didn't understand the first word. How do
Yeah,
you?
the stress. How do you manage your stress? Because your clients, they might push an urgency on you, an urgency that is not. How do you manage that? How do you keep your cool?
Yeah, you know, when I was studying, I worked a lot in bars or restaurants. Like it was a really stressful work to earn some money. Yeah, and this is one of the most important things for me in life that I've learned is when something when there's really a lot of stress and something goes wrong, yeah, then you have to stay calm, yeah, and then it's also my job, yeah, to tell everybody, yeah, not to panic, yeah, because if you panic, uh, you're not always rational in your decisions, yeah, um, and and this is in a way my mindset, yeah, that whenever I'm to be honest, before something's going on, yeah, also before a big event or something like that, I'm always doing a lot of pressure, yeah, and going on, but when it's running, yeah, and this is also for crisis communications, yeah, when a crisis is running, yeah, I'm staying calm, yeah, to direct everything in the right way, and bring everything to a good point, into a positive movement.
There you go. Well, Nick, thanks for the brief podcast that you've helped me do today regarding PR and crisis communication. Where can people find out more about you?
Thank you for being part.
And where can people find out more about you online? Where?
About what?
About you
online,
and your
sorry,
company. Yeah.
www.fullstoppr.com.